Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to do the Husqvarna 592 and 585. Both of these ported up. Here's ported cylinder. Widen the exhaust. Lowered that extension. And just reshape the transfers. See you can see the squish band cut up there. Nothing going on with the intake or stratos. 585 is the same. Just smaller bore. Didn't mess with the intake or stratos. Just reshaped and flattened the uppers. Widened the exhaust. Notched and blended the lowers a little bit. That's on the 585. Now, depending on how much you cut, you need to watch this impulse hole. It is closer to begin with on the 592 since these both got the base cut. So if you're going to leave the gasket and cut a whole bunch off of the base, you'll have to watch that because the way that the boot impulse everything is on this piece, the actual seal there doesn't have a ton of room. So you want to check that if you're going to cut the base on these. So just make sure to check that. A couple people pointed it out to me, and it looks like we're going to be all good to go on these. Get everything cleaned up, and then we'll start putting them together. You can see no crank stuffers in either one of these. That's an open crankshaft. It's mighty large crankshaft in here. And it looks like Husqvarna switched to a two-piece style. The pin and this ear and cheek and everything are all one piece. Then the other side, there's another piece, two-piece, real similar to steel. And Echo's been using that style too. So I'm not sure if it offers more rigidity or why they switched, but I did notice that they switched. So I figure I'd show that to everybody. Alright, intake boot on, sealing on. We'll get this stuck down. Alrighty, that's on. That's back in its mount. Let's put this back in. All the carb screws are tight. Put the handle back on. We'll put the recoil back on. Here's the hole we decided on the 592, 585 muffler. Opened up the factory, took off the deflector, replaced the deflector with one of my stainless medium wides. This one's a double hit, so it's extra large. Here the oiler engaged. 387 for the dyno runs. Top cover. But we'll get it fueled up and test fire it real quick. That seems to work. Alright, that one runs. Now we'll put the 585 together. See if we can get her to fire up. Wow. Well, that one runs. Now we can get them on the dyno. Alright, not a big, huge percentage gain. Only works out to 8 to 12%, depending on where you're checking, what you're looking at. This is the U saw. This is the new saw. U saw again. New saw again. So the way I lowered the ports, the way I moved things back, makes sense. Peak power dropped back a little bit from about 94 down to 8,800, which that comes from lowering those ports. But I did that so that we could add some torque. When you lower those ports, it'll add the low end. This is the feel, this is the lean on area. When you raise the ports and add duration, it'll generally wind out higher and harder up top. There may be a few percent left if you wanted to raise, but you're going to be the same stock type torque and then raise out a little bit. With these having a 12.5 rev limiter, well, it kind of limits how far you can push these without having a little bit of over rev. But these both should settle in real nice, make nice broad power. This difference here, this is an auto-tune thing. I can't do much about it. I do the resets, try and run them in a little bit, and sometimes they only give me what they give me. But we did gain. We didn't go backwards. But these are pretty hot right out of the box. Should make a good long-lasting work saw for the owners. I don't think much more than 20% is going to come out of a regular one. But if somebody wants to port one and send it in, be more than happy to run down the dyno for you. Alright, here's the 585 with the carburetor, a little smaller CC. You can see, stock 585. Blue line supported 585. Those are the 592s, same graphs as earlier. But this is just 585. You can see with the carburetor 585, not quite as smooth of a power band as what the auto-tune saws do, especially when the auto-tunes stay kind of tuned in. But the same thing with 585. See, we lowered the peak horsepower RPM, and we did that mainly to gain this big boost in torque. This distance here, you're going to feel that when you start putting pressure on the bar. It's not going to wind out as hard, not going to make a ton of power up top, but still a decent gain. I didn't get a chance to swap the carbs. Maybe if I come across a pair of these of my own, or somebody that wants to try it will have to, but building these, getting them moved through for customers, and just want to share with people as what we have as it's going through. Strong out of the box, can get some gains, but not the 20, 30, 40% of the saws from years past. All right, thanks a lot, everyone.